Yo, what's going on, great people in all of the great land? It's your favorite fantasy football homeboys in the building. Nicholas Wilcox, Johnny Main, the fantasy football show in the house, Super Bowl 60 show. Patriots, Seahawks. We got your single game showdown lineups for DFS purposes. And we got the Knicks prop shop and any other bets that we got going on. And if there's any bets you guys want to go over, drop them in the chat. But Johnny, I got with the program. Say what's up to the great people.
On the moots, guys. Hey, what up? Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Happy to be here, man. You know, last one of the season, for sure, this season.
Great.
Crazy that there's already been 60 Super Bowls. Randomly, man, I was like on the X and I seen this guy ripping off every Super Bowl winner in the history of Super Bowls, like for no homework for class, and got cooked, man. I was like, every time I'm feeling good about life, I was like, you know, the internet has a way of making you feel like, you know what, let's bring it back a little bit. I thought that was pretty dope, man, for sure. Man. So
that is, I mean,
yeah,
impressively, probably you could probably name. I mean, could you probably name? You know what? I'll probably ask you. Can you name every Super Bowl winner since the year 2000 at least?
Oh my God, dude! Like not right now. Like not. I could tell you the team. Like I could tell you teams that won. I feel pretty confident about the teams that won, but not in order. No, like I could.
I could probably get close to the order, but it would be like.
I'm not even gonna front like I could hit the order. I could tell you the teams. I know it's Baltimore, New England 1,000 times. Obviously Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Kansas City, the Rams. I know who's won, but like in order, no way, dude. No way, man. No way. Like again, I could get there. But it like I said, like this guy ripped them off in order from like most recent to furthest. And I was like,
I know, well, at least what? So it's the Ravens. So since 2000, I think I'll give it a shot. It's Ravens, it's the Patriots, it's the Bucks, Patriots again. No. Yes.
Yeah, bro. That no, you're not. You're not. Like that's just you're not. Like that's.
I know the Patriots won at least 3 in the last.
Again, dude, there's 6 of them. Like I said, like you're not ripping it, like because you already have the Giants in there messing it up already. So you have
that wasn't 207.
Yeah, but like.
Seahawks won 06. Sorry, Saints won 06.
See, look.
I know, right? Yeah.
Like, just let it go, dude. Like, you're not gonna get any credit. Like, it's fine, dude. Cooked, bro. Like, he cooked. You can name them all. Like, you can name all the winners, but to name them in sequential order, bro, you got to be in your bag. And so, like, again, like, shout out to that dude for sure, man. For sure.
What's up, great people? Rob, what's up, man? Like. Who you got for the Super Bowl, yo? Who y'all got for the Super Bowl? Haywood? Yeah. I had to get with the program, you know what I'm saying? Like, couldn't leave my guy hanging. And, get ready to go to work. Told him to take the day off. Stone Cold says, oh, hell yeah. Nothing like starting my day off with the very best in the industry. See?
Much love, brother. Much love.
Already know, man. We appreciate you, man. For sure. Again, Rob, yo, you've been rocking with us since the beginning of the season, so we appreciate you coming in and everyone else that comes through because, you know, it's the last show for us for months. I'm not going to say till September because that's not true, but consistently, it will be a while. So, a special shout out to everybody out there for sure that's always showed the love, the appreciation, support. Always interacting with us on camera, off camera. Like, appreciate y'all for sure. Johnny, any sentimental words you want to say before we get kick-started?
No, just same thing, man. Appreciate all the love for sure. Been another great year, for sure. Just had a chance to was thinking just all the way back from the beginning of August,
Yeah,
just that, and then
what a
just
journey.
thinking about that. Yes, thinking about that, and then thinking about you know how the season went for some of the fantasy rosters, some of the players, some of the teams, just in general, just thinking about all that and just being okay, it's all over with today. It's all over with today. And then, we get to start this journey back up again at some point in time during the off season. But it's just, football, fantasy football, bringing dope people together, man, making dope relationships. It's a good life lesson, a good teacher. And obviously I'm sad to see it end, but I don't hate getting up at 4:00 in the morning every single Sunday morning to get in the bag, for sure. So I'm not necessarily going to say that I missed that. I'm going to miss that, but I'm going to miss it though. Ronnie, yeah, it does. It does, man. It does. It does, Ronnie. You're right. It does.
Yeah, right.
It does. It does. It does. No, you're right. You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong.
People already traded everything.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Dynasty 365. So yeah, that's for all y'all in the bag over at Dynasty. Yeah, give you guys a little bit of a tidbit, but yeah, good luck.
Hey man, them right there, man. Them what I like to refer to as the marathon runners of fantasy football. You know what I mean? Them the marathon runners out here running miles and miles and all that. I love it for you for sure. I'm a sprinter.
Definitely. Rob's got Sam Darnold, so he rocking with the Seahawks apparently. Yep, Dynasty never ends. Real talk. Want to get a lead at season long? Play Dynasty.
All right, I'll rock with it. Hey, this for you too out there, Ronnie. This for you, baby. This for you. You know what it is. This for you, man. This for you.
Oh, well then. Well then.
Yeah.
The Tennessee boys in the house.
You know what it is.
Hope you guys got a better season upcoming. Anyhow, so yeah. Without further ado, boy, yep, last show for a while, but let's get it going. Patriots getting 4.5. Neutral site in San Francisco, taking on the Seahawks, and 6:30 p.m. EST time frame. And don't forget about the Super Bowl halftime show. Bad Bunny. Don't forget about him. Over under 45.5. Yeah, look, Johnny, I saw a few of your pieces this week, so shout out to him. If you ain't check him out on TikTok, please do so. Check out myself on TikTok. Follow the channel on TikTok. Fantasy football show. But yeah, man, I just can't believe the Patriots are here, bro. It just I'm not looking to take any credit away from them. It's you can't control who you face, can't control injuries and stuff like that. You play who you play, and that's just kind of how it goes. And that's how it is. The Patriots are here, and Seahawks. The road to get here, for them, there was a chance for them not to have the 1 seed, and they got the 1 seed, and they took care of business. So, Patriots, like I said, people are, even some of the Patriots fans, we live in New England, you know what I'm saying? We around here, we've talked to the folks, and even them are wow, we're in the Super Bowl type of thing, versus they're more humble about it than ever before, versus oh yeah, we expected to be here. It's come on. So, yeah, look. I'll just say this: this will be a good game between both these teams in terms of defensively. I think both sides of the football for offense is decent as well. I just hopefully get a good game. I hope we don't get a blowout of any sorts, or one injury all of a sudden turns the whole thing. But yeah, Johnny, your overall thoughts on this one?
I think. To your point, I just want a good game is all I want, man. I want a good game. And I think there's 2 avenues I see this game being. I see this game either being 16-6 or either like 36-14 or 36-19. I think that's it. I think the way the Patriots win this game, if we're just going to talk about the Pats, the way that they win this game is going to have to be a low-scoring game, because I feel like the Seahawks, if they're able to get points on the board, then that defense, we know what it's going to be, right? Like, we already know what it is. That defense is very, 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 very good. The best defense that the Patriots are going to play during this playoff run. And obviously some people could make the argument about the Broncos for sure, but again, like, not having your best offensive player in a situation like that, like, it kind of hamstrings you a little bit if you're the Broncos. I do think that if it is a Patriots win, it's obviously going to have to come at the expense of Drake May. So I think like Drake May is going to have to be the guy clearly that's going to have to do all of the things today. Like, he's going to have to do all the things today if the Patriots win. Both of these teams have really good special teams units as well. I think they're actually both top 5 in the NFL. So I think, not one team has a specific advantage in that space. I'm pretty sure that's obviously been well documented. And then, like, as I mentioned in my short earlier this week, during this entire playoff run, the Pats have not had a 100-yard rusher. They have not had a 100-yard receiver. Drake May's been sacked 15 times already. We've seen Will Campbell kind of, have a tendency to struggle so far during this playoff run with some of the elite pass rushers. I think this is a group of elite pass rushers here for the Seahawks. Defensively for New England, I believe they actually were the worst in the NFL. Again, I think all these things have already been well documented, so like, it is what it is. But I think they were actually the worst team in the NFL against wide receiver number ones. Well, that is really, 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 really bad when you got JSN showing up here today. And I think obviously there's been like a ton of talk obviously about Sam Darnold and just who he previously was. And I think like one of the things about this entire situation just with Sam Darnold, just in general, is like, people always want to remember the worst version of you versus the best version of you. And like, I think like beyond a shadow of a doubt, like, this is the best version of Sam Darnold we have ever seen. He was obviously drafted, I think, like in the top 3, number 2 or number 3 overall by your boys. And I think like we're seeing why he was there. Now, is he the absolute man? No, like, this is just Sam Darnold finding a place in a good offense with a solid run game and a great defense, right? Like, not having to put too much pressure on him. So I think like that's one thing, like when you talk about like the Patriots defensively, like they have done a decent job all season long. But Sam Darnold, I don't want to say he's due against the Pats, as I'm now talking about the Seahawks. I don't want to say he's due, but like, he's due for a good ass whooping to give to the Patriots. Obviously 0-4 in his career, 1 passing touchdown, 9 interceptions, 41 passer rating. Like, that's really bad. But I think also too, with all due respect, like, we know the New York Jets have not been the shining star of elite organizations, if you will. So Sam Darnold in a really bad situation. I think you could even see putting a guy like Aaron Rodgers in that space like last year. And granted, like, this goes back, but it just hasn't been a good situation. So Darnold's the 5th quarterback to be winless in at least 3 games in their career going against a Super Bowl opponent. 3 of the last 4 have went on to win that game. I just don't see a way, and I don't see a world where Sam Darnold just, like, it doesn't happen for him today. Like, I don't, and I'm not saying he's going to go. If the Seahawks win, he's probably going to be the MVP. Obviously, we know how that game goes. But like, all these people talking about seeing ghosts, I think the only ghost that is going to appear today is going to be Sam Darnold imitating James St. Patrick is what it's going to be today. He's going to be that guy. He's going to be the guy that's the baddest guy on the field. And I think he knows everything that we're talking about. He knows, he's read all the headlines. He sees it all. And then for New England actually has the one thing that people like haven't like taken into consideration with New England overall is just they've had 416 games played by rookies in 2025, and that's the most by any team to ever make the Super Bowl. So you're going to have a lot of young guys going into this game. And a lot of people have talked about Vrabel and like his past experiences in the Super Bowl. Obviously, a lot of those experiences, they've actually all been him as a player. I think Mike Vrabel's a great coach, like for sure. I really do. Like, I don't hate him. I don't hate the Patriots. I don't hate this version of him. But to have that number of rookies that are going to be under the spotlight in this type of game, I think they're going to be tense. And I think that's why, like, I feel like the game is going to go more towards the under, is because you got a lot of rookies for the Pats. You got a lot of first-time players on the other side of the ball for Seattle, right? Like, there's only a couple of guys that have been in this spot. So it's going to be a great game. Like, it should be a great game. It really should be. But I just think that, like, we've seen it too many times. And I think there was another stat I seen that was like, if there was like a top defense versus a top tier offense in the Super Bowl, the defenses have came out on the other side of things. And I think that's really all it shakes down to, is just the Seattle Seahawks, man. Like, they are just so damn good defensively. And I think that's what the problem is going to be. And like you said, like, no shot against the Pats, man. Like, it is what it is. But, like, let's put it in perspective. Again, I'm an AFC North guy. AFC North was the worst division in football as far as the AFC goes this year, like statistically. NFC South, the worst division in football, followed by the AFC East. And again, I'm not taking any shots at the Patriots, right? Because as you mentioned, man, like, you can only play who you play. But, like, when we look at, like, how they've stacked up against elite competition, they just haven't played a team yet. In my opinion, they haven't played a team yet that can check all the boxes in all three phases of the game. And today they're playing the Seattle Seahawks, who check all three boxes. And I just think it's too much. I think it's too much for the Pats, man.
Yeah, I'll say this. There's a couple of things that I'm going to be watching for live in game. When things square off. I love the stat about you saying about, Patriots have the most rookies that have ever played in the Super Bowl. That could show its ugly head. Sometimes, though, it just depends on, like, a certain player, if they're actually, like, sometimes they don't have those sometimes they just ice in their veins. Like,
they don't know. They're naive to it. Then yeah.
They don't know any better. It's just another road game or neutral game, site game. Like, so. But sometimes, it depends on. I'll be interested to see how Drake May actually starts out first or second drive. The thing I'll be watching for is a couple of things, and I think you kind of keyed in on it. My matchup of this whole thing is DeMarcus Lawrence taking on Morgan Moses. I think, in retrospect of what you just said, I think you want to rely on a veteran to hold the fort down and get the game off to an aggressive start for the Patriots. Like, you're looking at a veteran, Morgan Moses, who's been there, done that, been on several situations like this before. So I think that'll be the matchup, because I think DeMarcus Lawrence is the best pass rusher for Seattle. Although none of them have more than 7 sacks individually, we all know they're a top 5 defense. So it'll be interesting to see that first point for Seattle's defense. Because DeMarcus Lawrence, if he can get off on Morgan Moses, if the pressure starts collapsing quickly and Drake May's got to start running for his life that he's done the last couple of weeks, it's going to be a long day for the Patriots, at least an early start. I think also what happens is that Seattle plays zone coverage at 76% clip. That includes cover 3, cover 4s, which Drake May has had success against cover 4, so pay attention to that. But also cover 6, where, if you remember back in week 15, where Buffalo was down so much early, came roaring back. One of the things and one of the tweaks they made was playing a ton of cover 6 in that ball game. And Drake May is a bottom 5 passer against cover 6. So something just to keep in mind on, if we, again, you got Mike McDaniel taking on Josh McDaniels, overall matchup, overall chess matchup there, and they've seen each other before. So it'll be really interesting to see how it all shakes out. And for New England, their keys to the game at this point is, I just think that Trevion Henderson could find a way to get that explosive play early on, and puts Seattle on their heels a little bit. I think New England's going to have an opportunity to then, dinking dime the ball a little bit more, find a way to get some points every drive. If they can't do that and Seattle just starts, bringing that pressure, the pocket just collapses more, like I talked about earlier with Drake May running for his life. It's going to be a long one for New England. On the other side of the football with Seattle, Kenneth Walker, man, like this is Kenneth Walker that we've been dying to see from a fantasy perspective. But I think the other matchup on the other side of the ball is Milton Williams in the middle for New England. Really think he clogs up things, makes things more of a mess, and it just comes down to if they clog up the middle, if they're stopping the constant runs because there's no Zach Charbonnet, like Kenneth Walker's going to have to find a bit of success on the outside, which can happen. New England's more middle of the pack defenses against receiving running backs. So this is something where I think the matchup could, curve a little bit if they don't find success on the ground early on. But obviously, the matchup on offense I want to see is, we talked about it. Christian Gonzalez taking on JSN. I think JSN is obviously like no one's had an answer for him all year long. So we all know JSN is going to be moving around the formation. He's not going to just stay on the outside. So he's going to have, that's where New England plays a lot of dime personnel as well. They mix it around. So if JSN gets matched up with a slot corner, like he's going to eat him for lunch, right? So yeah, we'll let's see how it all shakes out. I think in the end for me, this game comes down to a complete performance. And we just saw last week with Rashid Shaheed, right? A couple weeks ago against the Niners, right?
Yeah.
JSN, yeah. I mean, Rashid Shaheed, first game of the first play, special teams, touchdown. Like, even if that doesn't happen, if they get any type of decent field position, and New England's done the same thing. Marcus Jones, he's a big play waiting to happen, bro. Yeah, he's a big play waiting to happen. He's done it as well. So this will be, we don't talk about special teams a lot, but this is something where in a game like this, where one of the keys of the game is going to be, in actual football terms, right? Like converting on third down, having good field position, like these things, like, mano-a-mano on the offensive defensive lines, like just the X's and O's of football. Special teams can definitely play a huge part in it. So I do like Seattle. I do like the points. I do like them to cover. I just think that the only way New England is going to find themselves in a position to win this one is if, again, I think the offense has to keep humming. I think they have to keep that Seattle offense keep throwing. Darnold didn't surprise me a couple weeks ago against the Rams. It was just more of in games where they haven't really needed to use Darnold. Like in competitive games, he's only lost one game all season where they've had to, Darnold's had to be able to consistently be in the game and throwing the football all season. So, competitively, I think Darnold has what it takes to still get Seattle in position, right the wrongs of his previous, stops in the NFL. Seattle hosts, raises up that Lombardi Trophy again. So I got that, and I got probably the slight over. I think New England's going to have to keep pace in this one. I think New England can stop the Seattle run game. I have a little bit of confidence in that. It just comes down to then, can Darnold now pick them apart on defense? But on the other side of the football, it's New England's going to have to find a way to stop this pressure. Find a way to neutralize that, whether it be some draws, whether it be checking down to Stevenson or Henderson out the backfield, just keeping the Seattle defense honest and moving the chains. I do think they'll have to be really methodical and have to score. They can't come away with any non-points or situations where if they get into scoring range, they're just going to have to take the field goal. So, yeah, looking forward to a great Super Bowl 60. These are not the teams I really wanted to see, but it is what it is. Here we are.
Yeah, I don't mind Seattle. I definitely don't mind them. Like I said, like the Patriots definitely did not have that in the deck of cards. Like definitely didn't, for sure. And like, the other thing, like you were just kind of talking about, like, Sam Darnold and, like whatever, like it made me think too, man, like one player that like is really, really, really good. And like, it feels like people haven't been talking about him a lot. And it could be like, and he could be the, I don't want to say the X factor, but like Devon Weatherspoon, man. Like everybody's talking about Christian Gonzalez. Everybody's talking about Christian Gonzalez, Christian Gonzalez, Christian
Really?
Gonzalez, Christian. I maybe I've missed it,
Maybe
but I feel, but I feel like I've heard the name Christian Gonzalez more than I've heard the name Devon Weatherspoon during the last 2 weeks. And I think like, given how like, and again, maybe I'm just watching the wrong stuff. Who knows? That's also possible too.
Maybe you're just watching what you watch, whatever.
Maybe so, right? But I just think like too, man. I think New England having that issue with number one wide receivers is really, really going to be, I think, what really dictates the game, because it's either, Gonzalez travels or you bring a safety, and if Gonzalez travels and you bring a safety, then, obviously we know what that does for the run game for Seattle, which is what they want to do anyway. Like they want to be able to run the ball and they don't want it to be all on Sam Darnold's shoulder. And then obviously like the New England Patriots wide receiver group, like it's a group. So like, it's not necessarily like any of these guys have to travel with one specific guy. So I think like that's another, like as you were just kind of just talking through all of that, man, I was like, yeah. All right. No, I dig it. And I'm just like, a guy like that could be like one of the X factors. I say X factors, but he could be a guy that could make some huge plays in this game defensively for Seattle. Because again, like that front always gets like a lot of pub, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know, man. I think you've got that piece for Seattle. I don't know, man. I really feel like this is an under game, man. I feel like it just goes under. I don't know, man. Like I think that just because like New England is not like they do what they're supposed to do. Like they beat up on bad teams. They put up big points on bad teams. Like that just is what it is, right? But the Seahawks, man, like at whatever stop that it's been, like they've handled business. Like they've handled business at whatever stop that it's been. And I can't, not because I hate the Patriots. I just can't. I'm having a hard time seeing it go either way. Even with my sunglasses on, I still can't see it going either way. So, yeah.
No, I don't think it's not for my hate of New England, because I respect Mike Vrabel as a coach.
Right.
I think McDaniels, you respect as a one of the best coordinators of all time, McDaniels. So
yeah,
there's a lot of respect for New England. It's just I just feel like they are still a few pieces missing from really getting this game to a place where they're in a spot where they can win. But any given Sunday, man.
Yeah, facts.
We're all predicting, you know what I'm saying, this. We all have our computer models and all this other stuff, like, but you never know. But yep, to the DFS lineups we go.
Oh,
Johnny, what you got for us?
Well, I'll get everything up here while that's going on. Who's one guy, man, you think can make an impact in this game that isn't being talked about, like an X factor offensively? Because it seems like, man, in like a lot of Super Bowls, there's always a player that makes plays or comes up big. Got to get this verification piece here. Comes up big in that respect, man. So who's a guy you're feeling?
It's weird. Who I'm about to say, it's weird. But he showed his face a couple weeks ago. Jake Bobo. I think Jake Bobo just always comes in. He always shows up in spots you don't expect him to show up in. I think Jake Bobo. I do like. The other person I was going to say was, Booty, but you say Matt Collins as well. Just the
Yeah.
secondary pieces like that, the one play that you have everybody covered, but then the one person that has the mismatch that is able to take advantage does it. So it could definitely be a secondary receiver piece on either one of these teams today. I think the person I think I'm okay going back to the well on is Trevion Henderson. I do think that he's going to have a role in this one if New England's going to have any shot at winning today. Because as much as I like Ramondre Stevenson, as much as he's been decent, I do think that Henderson can still do it in multiple ways, and he's their game breaker. Because if he doesn't break one, something decent or, whatever, gets himself involved in this one, I do think that Seattle's going to find a way to get this one done if Henderson doesn't have a decent one. So I do like him in a showdown spot. Captain, that'd be really crazy, but it can be done. So, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling the Trevion Henderson love today, in my opinion, or a secondary receiver piece on either team. Yourself?
Yeah. Jake Bobo was he was one of the names that I thought about because I feel like it's going to be somebody who catches passes. I think that's just what it's going to be. I don't think there's any other way around it for sure. So maybe it is, maybe it is him. Maybe it's a George Halani. Maybe it's somebody like that. But it always feels like Elijah Arroyo is another, good name that's talking about a couple of rooks, right? So it could be somewhere in that space. That's what I would think, man. I would think it ends up being one of these other Seattle guys. I'm on the same page with you. I think it's one of the other Seattle guys that ends up.
And everybody forgot about Elijah Arroyo. So
yeah, being just being an unsung hero, right? I think there's that. So yeah, man. I don't know. I just was curious to see because I was obviously over the last 2 weeks, you go back and you look at some of the other Super Bowl box scores, and when you go back and you look at some of them, sometimes sometimes some of the stars show up, and sometimes they have average games because they're playing against really great defenses or really great teams, and they've been game planned for and they've been schemed for, and that's how some of these other cats end up showing up and showing out. So I do. Part of me does feel that it's going to be very. I wouldn't be able to believe that Mike Vrabel would show up to the Super Bowl without a specific game plan to slow down JSN. But then to your point, who has slowed him down? So what do you do? Do you make the do you make the Seahawks one dimensional and make them throw the football and put the ball in Sam Darnold's hands a lot? By bringing down the extra safety in the box. Do you do that? Or do you just, get it how you live? So I don't know. I was just kind of curious what your take was on that for sure. So DFS lineups, man. Crazy as this is, bro. Crazy as this is. And I know this is it's going to tilt, I know, by the time kickoff happens. Sam Darnold is 4%. Projected 4% ownership in the captain spot today.
Really?
4%.
That's ridiculous.
It's something. It definitely is something.
The only way I see, I guess the logic on it is because Sam Darnold, they expect Seattle to not only cover the points, but also not make this such a competitive game. And because he doesn't scramble as much for Drake May. But that's a huge discrepancy.
I totally think so too. So Sam Darnold's he's definitely my play at captain today. Because if not, then if you're playing JSN at captain, which there's really people are only playing 3 guys at captain apparently. They're either playing JSN, they're either playing Drake May or Ken Walker. That's it. So I've got a couple of other max entries to build. So obviously I'll have one that's just with JSN and with May specifically. And then after that, it's going to be, Sam Darnold is probably where I'm going to hang out at a lot. And then Ramondre Stevenson, like maybe, like I guess there's a path for that.
Sure.
There's a path for it, but like I like Sam Darnold a lot more. So so for this build, like definitely going Sam Darnold, JSN, and I think like we got to find one more pass catcher for Seattle. And it is so hard for me not to like look at a guy like Rashid Shaheed. I know a lot of people are like, Cooper Kupp, like for sure, and even AJ Barner, right? Like I think like that's pretty solid. But I'm wondering from a scoring perspective, as you talked about, like if Rashid Shaheed does pop one and it's a special teams touchdown and you have the Seahawks defense, which I think like I'm all the way invested here. Either Seattle defense or either Mr. Myers, as far as the kicker goes, who was the best kicker in fantasy football all season long. So which direction would you be wanting to lean as far as like the kicker or the defense here for Seattle? Because I think like obviously like like hey, like if we rip Rashid Shaheed and Seattle's defense, you maybe can get a twofer, right? And if this game goes how I expect, like how apparently 56% of America feels the same way at this point. Yes, yeah, I'm with you, Haywood. Like I don't even know if it's not. It might not even be like it might not even be them scoring a touchdown. It might just be them just dominating the front today and making things miserable for Drake May, who does not have a shoulder injury apparently.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but
yeah,
man, I would say for the price tag, I don't mind that combination, Shaheed and Seattle defense, just because they do somewhat correlate together. If we expect that, if we expect not only Seattle to win, but also New England to not be as effective offensively, that could mean a couple of things. One, where they don't score a ton of points, we get a few sacks still, whatever have you, fumbles. That makes sense. And then Shaheed puts the offense in a good position for our offensive players. So, or again, takes one to the house. So that's totally possible. So I don't mind the logic there at all for that combination.
Yeah, and then I'm just trying to find like the salary saver. George Halani was definitely a salary saver at like 2,200, but I would imagine he'll be a salary saver, or excuse me, 2,400. I'd imagine he'll be a salary saver for a lot of other people as well. Then you have like you're in the 2000s here with, obviously your boy Kyle Williams, George Halani, Austin Hooper, Jake Bobo, Elijah Arroyo. And this is like, I'm getting kind of nervous because I'm like, damn, this is really just stacking up to be like total Seahawk domination on this build. But I don't know. I have a really hard time getting away from that. Like some Patriot pass catcher will be relevant today. Like there's no doubt about that. But I think this is one of those times, and in my gut, it always tells me it's Keyshawn Boutte is who it always is. I think Steph Diggs has been, he's been okay, man. And I think that's it. Like he's been okay. Like it hasn't been like he's been the best receiver on the field for them. And I think, and I think it's even hard to say that he's even like
600. I mean, I find it very hard to get to him.
Yeah, well, just talking out loud, like I'm not gonna like jam him in the lineup, but it's like again, like I'm looking at the group and it's like, all right, like do I take the name or would I want the name Steph Diggs or would I be looking at like some value and some different perspective for receivers? And I think like the value side is where I'm looking for sure. So, all right, so let's just rip it here.
The value side, like I said, it's how much you got left? 26. Dang.
Well, that's if you play May, which I think like you almost can't not play May.
I don't think you can not him.
Yeah, like like for sure because then like you can like you can't
unpredictable. You know what I'm saying? It's like
you can if you get it right with the pass catcher, but in my mind I'm like, okay, like I can rock with the pass catcher because I just don't foresee Drake May like having like the day, like the Drake May day. Like maybe he helps it out like in a rushing perspective, but like he's also been anytime like he's been hit too, man, as far as sacks, like he's had he's had some tendencies to put the ball on the ground, and we know the Seahawks defense, man, very opportunistic, very opportunistic. What up, Snoop? So I'll hang out there, and then it's just a matter of George Halani, Austin Hooper, Jake Bobo, or Elijah Arroyo. And it still feels like that it's a Seahawk. So I'm gonna go Arroyo, and that leaves 1,400.
Yeah,
that leaves 1,400 on the table.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's getting real tight here.
Yeah. All right. No, no, that's it. That's what we're doing. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl MVP. Let's go.
Oh, then.
Exactly what I thought, in August. Sam Darnold for Super Bowl MVP.
I guess where I'll go with is here's what I got. So what I got was it was Darnold at cap. So it was Darnold at captain, along with I'm standing on business, man. Like Jake Bobo. I'm gonna go with him. Just because I know it's tough. Like I guess the correlation with it, because I still like Henderson. You know what I'm saying? Like, just think I can't get off of that 3,800 price tag, and I can't get off of what we have seen from him before. And I do think he'll still get some volume as well. I just refuse to believe that like Stevenson will be like just the consistent workhorse back right now in a spot like this. I just refuse to believe it. I guess where I'm like kind of hung up on is like, do I want to go all Seattle pass catchers? You know what I'm saying? Or, because like, Cooper Kupp. So pretty much it's 5,800 for me on the table. I got Darnold at captain. Like I agree with you. I got Bobo. I got Henderson. I got JSN. I got Drake May. So it's like 5,800. Do you go with? Like I just believe I'm going to go with Cooper Kupp because I just think that he had an opportunity to, beat zone coverage, and in New England, and I do think he's going to have to make some type of play or two. Or do I go with the New England kicker because that kind of safeguards me from, if Stevenson scores or whatever, okay, I still get a point off of it, like for the extra point, or if there are any field goals that come my way. What do you like?
I think your lineup is already unique because it's going to have Travion Henderson in there. I think it's already unique in that space because I don't think like a lot of people are playing Travion Henderson today. And like I actually am kind of on the other side of it. Like I do believe that like this is Mike Vrabel's been telling you the story all year long, man. And the story that he's been telling you all year long is that Ramondre Stevenson is his guy through hell or high water. He can put it on the ground once. He can put it on the ground twice. Hell, he could probably put it on the ground 3 times, and he's going to go back to him. And like Ramondre's his guy. I'm not like Travion. Like this might be a setting where Travion does make some big plays if he is in the game because that's literally all it takes is one for him. Bergalis, I think that's his name, the kicker for New England. I think you're right as far as like the safeguard piece because like if New England isn't able to find the end zone, which I'm not saying they're about to get shut out here or anything, but like I just think like it's going to be a tight space and like maybe a kicker is in play there. So like I definitely don't hate that. I think like your lineup is very, very unique. Already just as we talked about with Sam Darnold being 4% owned at captain spot. That's already unique. Obviously you're playing JSN. You said you're playing Bobo. You said you're playing potentially Cooper Kupp. Right? Is that what it is? So it's basically Cooper Kupp or the kicker.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly my point.
I mean, I don't hate the Cooper Kupp play just because you have Darnold at captain. Like I don't. And like again, like that's just if that's I am okay with all the Seattle pieces because I just feel like Seattle's they're gonna absolutely handle business today. I don't see any way around it. So Cooper Kupp would be it for me, but
and that's why I settled on.
yeah, like
that's why I settled on.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Yeah, we'll just have to find out what happened. But yeah, okay. So the moment we have. It's the prop shop, folks. 59% on the year to date. Yeah, like just a much of an improvement from last year. Just getting better angles and just getting some certain lines a little earlier sometimes too. Got an array of props today. So it's the last game of the season until September. So be mindful of that. But also, like, hey, I would say there's a few plays I like for safety, and then there's some plays that you could put in for a lotto parlay if you want. So without further ado, let's get it started. First up, I got Drake May over 19.5 completions while over 225 passing yards. I think what it comes down to is if we're going to keep Seattle's defense at bay, I expect some screen passes. I expect some checkdowns, short intermediate throws. So this should lead to over 19.5 completions. And then the passing yards will be a little bit more of a challenge, but I do think Seattle's very, very susceptible to the tight end, which brings me to Hunter Henry, 40-plus receiving yards or more. Yeah, I think that leads to overall just the positioning of this matchup. Seattle's defense against the tight end, they've just been really shaky. Jake Tonjes got him for one. Terrence Ferguson got him for a big one. So I think Hunter Henry is line for as much as we like. I just think when it comes down to safety blankets, Hunter Henry is one of the best. I believe he's second in receptions on the team. So I do like the spot for Hunter Henry. Moving on to a spot that I was definitely tempted to go with rushing attempts too at plus money, but I'm gonna go with the 25 plus more scrimmage yards for Henderson. I think the receiving yards line was really low. I just don't know how involved he'll be. But I'll say that plus 25 scrimmage yards for Henderson, he can do this in 2 plays. So I definitely like that from a value perspective. And the rushing attempts, like I said, is plus money. I think it was like 6+ rushing attempts. So if you think New England's going to be able to divvy up a little bit more than normal and try to get him going, that's an easy spot to go get yourself some easy money. So it's not an official bet, but I put it out there. Next one, AJ Barner, 3+ receptions. He's a full-time role in Seattle. And Elijah Royal should play a little bit, depending on matchups. But Barner is a tight end one in this offense. And then, outside JSN and Kupp, Shaheed as well for the deep threats. Barner should be able to, take away some coverage in this one as well. So I like AJ Barner, 3+ or more. Next one, we got to go back to the well. Cooper Kupp, plus money, by the way, over 3.5 catches. Cooper Kupp does more of his better work against zone coverages. And that's where, New England does play a ton of as well. And Cooper Kupp's going to be able to take advantage of this one. I just see the chemistry with him and Darnold more and more as the playoffs are going along. So I'm just going to go right back to it. The obvious one of the day, over 6.5 catches for JSN. Look, we said it. Barely anyone's been able to stop JSN all year long. He's going to be the best part about JSN is that he gets mixed around all around the formation, the outside, the inside, whether it be over the middle or post corners over the route or anywhere in the formation, any route he can run, he's going to be there. So this is why we like the over 6.5 catches, especially if New England can keep this game competitive for a long time in this one. Definitely like JSN for over the 6.5 catches. Darnold over 232.5 passing yards. Look, this again predicates on New England keeping up with this one. I think they can find a way to still do that. To where Darnold, and again, in competitive games, he's been over his line besides one time, and that was week 7 against Houston Texans defense. So I like Darnold here just for the trend and overall what he's done in the past for us in competitive games. Couple more for you. Stephon Diggs over 4.5 catches. This is not like my most confident one, but what I will say is that, I do think, Stephon Diggs is not Puka Nacua, but Stephon Diggs can still find a way to, get himself involved in this one. I do think he'll be key, in playing against the zone coverage, for Seattle, particularly when they start. I do think they'll be playing some cover 6 today. This will be key to get Stephon Diggs the football. And I do think I do think that May is going to be able to find Stephon Diggs enough in this one to get us over. And I believe one more I got. Yep, the last one. Our guy Rashid Shaheed over 21.5 receiving yards. I just like where in spot where, like we talked about it before, right? There's going to be one guy that's going to have to, we aren't thinking about Shaheed. But the line's too low. 21.5 receiving yards for Shaheed. He can do this one play. So I just like this I do think expect to get 3 or 4 targets. He should be able to break this. In a game, like I do think this should be going back and forth. We're hoping it goes back and forth because if it does, Shaheed will be able to hit this line. I was 6-5 last week for the conference finals record last week. So let's just end things with a bang here. So if you like safety, I think the best ones I like are the completions for Drake May. I also like Hunter Henry mixed with that, along with the bring back for that would be JSN. So those 3 would be a nice little safe parlay. If you want to do a mega lotto, take them all.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'll have the ticket later with all of them later. So
fair enough.
So stand on business. But that being said, man, just settled in. It's gonna be our last show for a while.
Yeah. No, this is it, man. And we just gotta wait for the NFL draft, man. We gotta wait for free agency in the NFL draft. We'll be back. Free agency will be right around the corner. It'll be right around the corner for sure. And then obviously the NFL draft. So it won't be too long. It'll be what? I don't even know when the draft is, like end of March, right?
Yeah.
End of March. So we got a little bit of time. And you got free agency. So
we'll be back. We'll be back.
Be a couple for sure.
Not a good line to see you later.
No, it's just a little bit, just a wee bit.
Like another month or so, a month and a half maybe.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Yeah.
We'll be back with some special guests. We'll be back with some people you have seen before. Hint, hint. If you've been a part of this community before, he will be back at some point to break down some of the draft with us once we get confirmation. But yeah, like we got some things in store for y'all. So definitely stay tuned. Please tell everybody, friends and family, about coming to check us out. We're so close to 200 subs. Can we do it? Come on, people. Tell everybody. Get to YouTube. I like the page. And subscribe. Johnny.
Super Bowl MVP.
Ooh. Super Bowl MVP. Ooh. Hold on. Super Bowl MVP. Oh, still thinking. Just give me Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold's going to be able to right his wrongs, and be able to lead not only Seattle to a victory, but doing it well in style. So that's the easy one for probably like from an odds perspective. I think if we're getting very contrarian,
Sure.
you know what I'm saying? Like
Sure.
I'll have one that's I'm not sure what the odds are. They'll probably be okay odds, but probably like deep, like Super Bowl MVP. Ah man, if New England wins, if New England wins it, Stephon Diggs.
Okay.
I know. I don't
Contrarian.
know what his
Okay.
odds are. I don't know what his odds are, but
Okay.
but that's just someone I think that I just think he's pretty important today.
Okay.
In my eyes, I think it's pretty important.
Okay. All right. Sam Darnold for me, like obviously for Seattle.
Don't
So
copy me. No.
like
Plus 120 odds on DraftKings for Sam Darnold. And Stephon Diggs plus 4,500.
okay. So outside of Darnold, for Seattle, outside of him, if the points are minimum in this game, I'm gonna go back to Devon Witherspoon. I'm gonna go back to him defensively. I'm gonna take a defensive MVP to shake
Ooh,
things
I
up.
love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a defensive MVP to shake
Plus
things up.
10,000. No,
Yeah, I'll take a defensive MVP to shake things up.
I like it.
Uh,
I like it.
if New England wins today, um, I know traditionally it's always going to be the quarterback
Yeah.
traditionally, but I'm going to run it back with Ramondre Stevenson. That's what I'm going to go with. I think like if the Patriots are able to win the game today, it's going to be because of him. That's what I think. I don't think it's going to be because of Drake May. I think it's going to be because of Ramondre Stevenson if the Patriots are able to win today.
Yeah, makes sense. Plus JSN plus 500.
Yeah, I think like if you go outside of like Darnold or like some one off, I think Rashid Shaheed is like the next. He's the other guy that seems like you could. This game feels like it would be some kind of like big play in the passing game, big play in the return game. Both, Sam Darnold reverts back to Sam Darnold. Drake May struggles against the defense. Like, here we are. Like, Devon Witherspoon doesn't get thrown on at all.
7-3 ball game on into the fourth quarter.
16-6. It's a snooze fest after this amazing, run we've had of NFL playoff games. Everybody's complaining. Everybody hates it. Yeah, like Bad Bunny's the halftime show. Nobody knows a Bad Bunny song. Everybody's complaining. Everybody's grumpy. No, everybody's grumpy. Like the people that probably win in the DFS, lineups are the people that are playing defense and kickers. Makes logical sense, right? Like it's been such a build up for this game, a rematch of, like, why not? Why not? Why not?
Why'd you do that so effectively?
Why not? Why not? Why? I don't know. I blame my parents for this. Yeah, I blame them.
Heart, that's why.
Yeah. No.
Have you seen the future?
Yeah. I don't listen.
You tell me it's gonna be a big stock over the next 10 years.
Listen. If so, listen. And if I don't take advantage of it, I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, like I really feel like there's literally, and not to be that guy, but there's literally only two avenues this game goes. It's gonna be, it's gonna be like the Patriots and Rams snooze fest from a few years ago, or either there's going to be a ton of points. It's gonna go over 60 points in this game. It's gonna be very exciting. But I think if it goes in like that snooze fest route, that's a Patriot game. If it gets in the 50s and 60s, that just means that JSN and Sam Darnold are running absolutely wild all over the field. That's all it means. So that's what I got, bro.
Well, there you have it. Yep. Walker plus 850. It's possible. Totally possible. Yep. Appreciate the love for sure. And then, yep, the true fantasy MVPs out here is us. Totally. So, Johnny, my favorite question of the day when we do these shows for you. Are there any final thoughts you want to leave with people?
No, I think I just got my bag before final thoughts hit. I think like that's what it is. Obviously, like, be on the lookout for more from us in the future. Just trying to trying to continue to keep grinding, man. Trying to continue to keep better, getting better. Appreciate everybody, man, as far as like tuning in and stuff. Obviously, man, time is precious. So the fact that you guys want to spend it with us says a whole lot. And the fact that, we got some people that have been following us and, taking what we've been given, the little nuggets that we have been giving, and being able to see some success in those spaces is definitely awesome. Um, yeah, that's all I got, man.
Yep. Well, what a year to cap off for the fantasy season, right? Again, shout out to everybody out there for sure that always shows up for us, and like you said, spend time with us. Like, definitely a big thing. Definitely, we'll be around, so stay tuned on some new things that are coming your way from us. And again, enjoy the game. Last football game of meaning for a while. That being said, myself, Johnny, we out of here. We'll see you in the next show. Peace!